Never a dull news cycle. Never a dull moment in today's crazy, sensationalized news. But the Supreme Court is something to be watching out for right now because a lot of crazy cases are coming down the pike and they're ruling on them. So the Supreme Court recently ruled against President Biden's authoritative, unconstitutional vaccine mandate. And now I can actually say with utmost confidence that it is, in fact, unconstitutional. So it doesn't take a constitutional scholar to understand that something like that can happen. But the Supreme Court came out and said, they ruled on two different parts here. So the first part was the mandate, the vaccine mandate for employers with 100 or more employees. So they ruled against that and said the OSHA boys and girls do not have the constitutional authority to mandate something like that, and you as the president do not have the constitutional authority to mandate people to do that. Not only does it cross bounds with the Nuremberg codes, etc., but it's just not good for the Constitution. It's not good for the American people in general. So, but the crazy thing is, the second aspect of it, the vaccine mandate for healthcare workers, that did in fact... They upheld that. So it's crazy because when you think about it, you're like, how can they decide one is unconstitutional and one isn't? So here's the kicker. This is how they can do that. They allow the COVID-19 vaccine for healthcare workers whose facilities participate in Medicare and Medicaid. And that's the old case of the government giveth, the government will taketh. We have to educate ourselves to step away from the government. The government is, in fact, the problem. So the Supreme Court came out and ruled against that. A little tricky there, but something to take away from all this is during the arguments of that vaccine mandate, one of Obama's appointees, the wonderful appointees that he picked, Sonya Sotomayor, and a lot would argue that she was an affirmative action appointee, and some would argue that she deserved to be there. Well, from her current stint here, where she came out and was arguing for the fact that she I don't want to say she lied because you have to know things in order to lie about things, and I don't think she's that informed when it comes to a lot of these stuff. So she came out and she said, the Omicron variant is this vaccine mandate needs to be upheld because we have over 100,000 children in serious condition because of this virus. And that is so grotesquely inaccurate, and it's been debunked, and I'll pull it up on the screen from you from one of my favorites, CNN. Right here, real big here, Washington, CNN. Supreme Court Justice Sonya Sotomayor made a significant false claim on Friday about COVID-19's impact on children. Sotomayor made the remark Friday during a hearing about the legality of the Biden administration's attempt to require large employers to force workers to be vaccinated for the virus or undergo weekly testing. So she said, we have over 100,000 children, which we have never had before, in serious condition and on many on ventilators. And here's the facts first, CNN fact check. Sotomayor's claim about children wasn't even close to accurate. According to federal data, at the time of Sotomayor spoke, fewer than 5,000 people under the age of 18 were hospitalized in the U.S. with confirmed or suspected cases of COVID-19. So the thing that's most alarming about all this is if a Supreme Court justice can be manipulated by facts or misinformation that's being pumped to her on a daily, what can be pumped to her to fix or to deteriorate her mindset about the constitutionality of real cases that are going to come down in the future? And I think for something like that, there needs to be more accountability for these justices, because if someone can be duped that quickly, I don't think that they should be sitting on the Supreme Court. To switch gears, the Supreme Court has heard another case, but this case was centered on a decision to deny a Virginia Presbyterian church a tax exemption for housing. But there was Neil Gorsuch is one of Orange Man Bad's appointees. He gave a blistering dissent, and I think it's important because we can bring that into the fact that what they've been manipulating us with the COVID stuff, this holds true. This can be overreaching with these cases. So Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch penned a blistering dissent in the case revolving around church taxation, warning against allowing government officials the ability to define genuine religious beliefs. The First Amendment does not permit bureaucrats or judges to subject religious beliefs to verification, Gorsuch wrote in his dissent. About this, the court has spoken plainly and consistently for many years. So this is crazy because the verification for the bureaucrats here is happening. So before this vaccine mandate was ruled unconstitutional, I also know a lot of people that are still in the federal government, and they've emailed me the actual memorandums or the questionnaire that the federal government pushed out on its employees, and they were so intrusive and And it shows you that even with the Supreme Court rule, they have no authority to question one's religious attitudes. I saw questions that were saying, define your seriously religious held belief. How long have you been this religious? How long have you held this belief? Why do you think this is necessary to deny a COVID vaccine? And all that, to me, is unconstitutional. It's all protected by the First Amendment, which is the freedom of religion. And the government was pushing that out. So I don't know. But hey, keep an eye on the Supreme Court. It's important to see what's happening. But a big win for constitutionality and a big win for the American people as a whole. So just remember this. Always stand up for liberty. Don't be afraid to challenge the narrative. Until the next time, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Nino G Show. President Biden had his second conference in over a year, his press conference. We're going to hit that on the next show. Thanks again for being a part of it.